Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Fifth Wave movie. So I actually got to go to a pre-screening of the movie, which was amazing. The movie came out January 21st at night, and I got to see it Wednesday night, January 20th. That was so awesome. Oh my god, I loved being able to see it early. So I really loved the movie, even though they did change a couple things, but very few things were changed, and some of the changes I actually thought were for the better. They also added a couple scenes which I think were good. Some of them were kind of pointless, which I'll get into later, but yeah, I did enjoy most of the scenes they add. Also, there were so many gunshots in this movie. Like, holy crap, I was freaking jumping out of my seat every 3 seconds because there was a gunshot, like, all the time. And it was so freaking loud because when I was watching it in the theater, I was watching it in this theater and the sound was on super high, and every time a gun went off, it was literally like, it felt like it was like right next to me, like right next to my ear. It was so loud. I was like freaked out. I was like, somebody's shooting at me. The actress who played Cassie, Chloe whatever, I forget the rest of her name, it's like long, whatever. Chloe, she was such a great actress. I've only ever seen her in the movie If I Stay, so that's another book to movie adaptation. And she's just such a great actress. The way she conveys emotion is just done so beautifully, and at the same time she's a super tough actress. Yet she's so small and she's so like gentle and fragile, but she's still so tough and just, oh my god, she's such a great actress. And she really shined in this movie. Not saying that she didn't shine If I Stay, but she really did shine in this one. The actor for Evan was so attractive. Oh my god, like I usually do not like guys with beards, but he did it well. Dang, he was so attractive. And I really like the actor for Evan. Like, he did a really good job with the role. The only actor I had a problem with was the actor of Ben Parrish. So the actor of Ben Parrish was Nick Robinson, I think is his last name, and to me, he is not attractive at all. And Ben Parrish is supposed to be this person who is like super freaking like, oh my god, he's like the most attractive person ever, and he's like the most popular person on campus, and everybody is like in love with him. Like, maybe he's cute, I would give him that. So I don't think they chose the best person for Ben Parrish. Also, I know him from Melissa and Joey. I used to watch that show, and I loved that show so much. Nick plays this awkward, scrawny, like nerdy kid, and I can still see some of that in his character Ben Parrish. Like, he's supposed to be like this super strong character, but in the Fifth Wave, he still kind of acts nerdy and awkward, and he even acts wimpy at sometimes. So I did not like him as Ben Parrish at all. I do not know why they gave him the role, because he does not play it well. Well, I mean, he's a really good actor, I will give him that. I feel like if they had picked somebody who was like really tough, maybe somebody more along the lines of like the way Evan was, like the actor for Evan was phenomenal. Like, wow, he was great. Just maybe somebody just tougher, maybe more attractive. I feel like they would have done the role a lot better than him. We're just like, oh my god, he is so attractive and so gorgeous and so beautiful. And I'm just like, I'm so used to seeing him as like the awkward nephew in Melissa and Joey, and I can't see him as like attractive. The other actor I really love was Vosh. He was exactly like I imagined him in the book. Like, when I was reading the book, I didn't even look at the casting. So when I was reading the book, I was like picturing Vosh, and then when I went to see the movie, I was like, oh my god, this is exactly how I pictured Vosh. And the way he acts, the way he talks and moves and like articulates and just everything is so him. Like, that's exactly how I imagined him in the book. Like, he's great. I really like him as Vosh. So I absolutely loved Ringer. Like, in the book, I was like, dang, freaking Ringer is like amazing. But in the movie, her awesomeness was showcased even more. So that's all I can say about the movie without spoiling it. So if you have not seen the Fifth Wave movie, I suggest you stop watching this video and go watch it at the theater, because like, it's so good. So if you have not seen the movie, beware, spoilers are ahead. Goodbye! So the movie starts out the exact same way the book starts out, with her shooting the crucifix soldier. That part where she was shooting the crucifix soldier was like so intense. Like, she was just like getting all this food, and all of a sudden you just hear somebody going, help me, and then she goes and then she tries to help him, and then he's like taking his arm out, and then it's actually a crucifix, and she thinks it's like some metal like gun or whatever, and then she shoots him. Oh my god, that scene was just so powerful and intense, and oh my god, I jumped out of my seat when she shot him because the freaking gunshots, as I mentioned before, were so loud. They were like scared the crap out of me most of the movie, honestly. I feel like most of the movie I was just jumping out of my seat like, gunshot, gunshot. Okay, this entire movie is narrated by the main actress, Chloe, and she narrated it so well. Oh my gosh, like she could read an audiobook because her voice is just beautiful, and I really loved how she was reading direct quotes from the book. Like that was amazing. I really liked that. I especially loved the way they introduced the four waves. Chloe was like talking over the four waves while they were showing wave by wave how each wave happened. I really liked that. And oh my gosh, the second wave was like so sad and just so intense. Like when they showed just the whole world, how it reacted to it. And then I think it was San Francisco or something, where like the whole city just flooded. Like that was so sad to see. And then I like how there's this like one person, like it seems like it's a sole survivor, just standing on the roof of like this building in San Francisco, and that person ends up being one of the squad members in Ben's squad later. And I'm just like, hey, foreshadowing. After the mom dies, they go to Camp Ash Pit, and they change quite a bit about Camp Ash Pit. I kind of like some of the changes, and I feel like some of them were done for the better. So originally in the book, the reason she goes to the woods is because she's looking for the guy. I think his name was Sissy or whatever, because the guards, the military people come and they're like, oh, anybody who's like over 16 or whatever needs to go to debriefing, and everybody else is going on the school bus and stuff. And then her dad is like, hey, go look for Cicero or Sissy, whatever. And she's just like, oh, okay. And then she goes to look for him, and then they all get shot. But in the movie, Sissy doesn't exist, which I think was better, because in the book, they're in Camp Ash Pit for a long time. Like, they're there for a while. But in the movie, I think it wasn't even 10 minutes. Like, it was pretty short, because there's so much they have to get through that they can't spend too much time on one part. And I think it was better that they took Sissy out of it, because I feel like it would have been very stupid to add a character like him just for a couple minutes and then for it to not mean anything to the people who have not read the books. So I feel like that was a lot better that they did it. And as they did change a lot about that scene, especially with the part where she gets separated from Sammy, I kind of like the way they did it better though, how she does get on the bus, but she goes back to get his teddy bear and she ends up getting left behind. I really like that because it shows why she really wants to get back to Sammy, because she was left behind and he's her little brother, and after her dad dies, that's the only thing she has. I also did not really like the way they handled her dad's death and like all the people's death, really, because in the book it was obvious that they were gonna kill them. They were like, oh, come in here for debriefing, and then her dad was like, he could sense something was off. I could sense something was off too. I'm like, these people are not here to do well. And then she hears everybody get shot and stuff. But in the book, they don't exactly explain everything that happens in that room. Like, you don't know what happens. All you know is Cassie's point of view, that everybody gets shot, and then she sees her dad like crawling, trying to get out, and then he gets shot and like for dead. So in the movie, they just kind of like had to make up something for themselves, because that was not done in the book. But I really did not like the way they did it, because in the movie, it didn't seem like the aliens were actually going to shoot everybody. It seemed like the only reason they shot everybody is because like everybody was like, I want to get to my family, like let me go. And they were like, no, we were trying to keep you safe. And they're like, no. And then this guy like punched this other guy, and then this guy was like, I'm gonna shoot you. And then he was like, no, I'm gonna shoot you first. And then everybody just started shooting each other, and then everybody died. And like, oh, I didn't like that. Everybody gets shot, and then she goes and sees her dad. That was so sad, and everybody's like dead in like the room, and oh my god, I was was crying. It was so depressing. The part where she gets shot by Evan was like so intense. And oh my god, I really did not like the fact that later they show that Evan didn't actually shoot her. It was some random silencer that actually shot her, and then Evan killed that guy. The fact that he fell in love with her and he could only shoot her in the leg because he had fallen in love with her was so beautiful in the book. And the fact that they changed that in the movie just pissed me off. Oh my god, no. I really love that in the book, and I don't know why they had to change it. Like, seriously, he's like, I didn't shoot you, I saved you. No, you freaking shot her. Why the heck did you have to freaking change that? Oh my god. Like, it's such a minor little detail. See, this is what really annoyed me about this movie, is that some things were so minor that I don't see the point in why they have to change it, but they just did, and it kind of annoyed me, even though I did really, really like the movie. I think they did an amazing job. Then she passes out, and it switches to Ben's point of view, and I really like the way they did Ben's point of view, where they show Sammy and Ben arriving to like the camp at the same time with the whole like, stand in the red circle, wait till your card be called, and then you see Sammy come off the bus too. I really like the way they did that, and then they focused on Ben. Loved all the scenes. Cassie and Evan in the house. Oh my god. Those are my favorite scenes in the books, like, ever. Well, minus the part at the end when Evan rescues her. Oh my god. I love that scene so much. It's literally like my favorite scene in the whole book. And they freaking screwed it up in the movie. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't even. The way Evan loved her was an unconditional love. It was almost like they were married. If she needed him, he was there for her. He didn't protest. She was just like, oh, I need you. Or she would just signal to him and he would just run to her. And it was just so beautiful. I didn't get that from the book, but from the movie, it was just done so well. And oh my god, they're so cute. I love Evan and Cassie so much. They're like my OTP. They're just, oh, they're so adorable. My god, I love them. And I think I love them more in the movie because you could see more of Evan's love for sure. You couldn't really see, well, you can't really see much of Cassie's love in the book, and you can't really see much of Cassie's love in the movie either, but you can really see Evan's love, and it was really beautiful. His love, it was just, oh my god, it was unconditional, surpasses all boundaries, surpasses everything. It doesn't matter anymore, like, he just loves her, and it's just, it's so beautiful. Oh my god. Also really loved Sammy and Ben's relationship. It was so cute. I really loved it in the book, but in the movie it was done really well too, and it just made me happy. I love the part where they show where Sammy's like having trouble falling asleep, and he's like to Ben, hey, can you sing to me? Cassie always used to sing to me. And then he starts to sing to him, and then this other guy, I think his name was Dumbo or whatever, he's like, shut up. I just, well, when I burst out laughing when he said, just shut up. I thought that was hilarious. But like, that was so cute. That was in the book, and I really love that they included that in the movie because it just shows like how close they are and like how Ben really cares about Sammy, and it just made me so happy. And I really love how they changed the fact that why Sammy couldn't go with them to the patrol. In the book, I think he was 5, and they said that the maximum age for like going out into battle, I think, was like 7 or 8, or I don't remember. But anyways, so he couldn't go out in the battle, but in the movie they did it that he could go out to battle. The reason he didn't come out to battle was because Ben cared about him too much, and he like tied him up, and he didn't want him to get hurt. I really, really like that. The part when they found out who they were actually shooting was like, oh my god, that was so intense. Love when she starts flashing green and like they're just freaking out. They're like, oh my god, she's an other. Oh my god, she's an other. We must shoot her and everything. And then Ben does the same, and he's like, no, she's not an other. Trust me, she's not an other. She would have shot us by now. And then all of them are just freaking out, and they're like, oh my god, you're an other too. And it was done so well in the movie. I really, really like that. Oh my god, and I really love the part where he turns to the guy that was originally on the roof in San Francisco, whatever. I think his name is Dumbo. I don't remember his name. Anyways, but like he's considered like the nerd of like the group. And then so Ben turns to him and he's like, so where can I get shot in the torso and not die? And I literally just laughed. I don't know, it was just funny, and everybody in the theater laughed too. When he goes back to the camp and Vosh like briefs him, and he's like, okay, so what happened? And he's like, oh yeah, my entire squad died. I feel like that was a better explanation. Oh my god, the part that really pissed me off though is like, So he escapes, right? And then he runs off and tries to find Sammy, and then he bumps into Cassie. And in the book, this is not how it happened. So he bumps into Cassie, and Cassie and him stare at each other. He's like, "Oh, hi, Cassie, I'm Ben. We went to high school together." And literally, like, Cassie in the book said that exact same thing to Ben, and Ben was staring at her like, "Who the heck are you?" So that one part where Ben was like, "Oh hey, we went to school together," literally like me and a couple people gasped at the exact same time. And we're like, "What?" Cassie said that to Ben, not Ben to Cassie. So I don't know why they changed it. Oh my god, I really hate that about the movie, how they made it seem that Ben and Cassie were like friends and stuff. Like, Ben didn't even know she freaking existed. Like, in the book, when they meet up, he's just like, "Who are you? You seem kind of familiar." And then Cassie's like, "Oh, we went to high school together." And he's like, "Oh, okay." I really hate that party scene in the beginning. Like, that was so unnecessary, and I don't know why they added that, and it really pissed me off. Like, the fact that she just goes up to Ben and she's like, "Hey," like they're all best friends and all that. No, they freaking never talked. But in the movie, it made it seem like they were like acquaintances, or like they're just like friends but not super close. And I'm just like, no, they're not friends. Why did they do that? Oh my god, it pissed me off. Oh my god, the Evan rescue just pissed me off. That was my favorite part in the book. Like, the whole book, that was my favorite part, and they screwed it up in the movie, and it pissed me off. In the book, Evan just comes out of nowhere, and I don't remember how it went in the book. I think what happened is, like, there was these two generals. So Sammy, Ben, and Cassie were all together, and I think these two generals came up to them and they were like, "What are you guys doing here? Like, shouldn't you be over there?" And Cassie and Ben were just like, what are we supposed to say? I mean, we're trying to escape here." And then Evan just comes out of nowhere and just like kills them right away. I really love that part in the book where he just flies out of nowhere, and then he goes to Cassie, and he's like, "Cassie, I love you. Cassie, my mayfly." And oh my god, that was so beautiful. And then I love the part after where they're all like, she hugs Evan and stuff, or I think she kisses him, I don't remember, but like she embraces him, and then they separate, and Ben and Sammy are just looking at Evan like, "Who the heck are you? Where did you come from?" I thought that part was hilarious, where Ben and Sammy are staring at Evan going like, "Who is this?" And then Cassie's like struggling to try to explain who he is. I thought that part was hilarious, and that really made me mad that they didn't put that in the movie, but it was kind of an unnecessary scene. Like, that wasn't necessary, but I really like that scene. Then they go and rescue Sammy and get the heck out of the Ringer comes out of nowhere with like a car, and they drive out of there. And then they're in this like makeshift camp. Cassie's there with Ben and all the squad members and Sammy. So they changed quite a bit about the movie, and they added a couple necessary scenes. But overall, I think the movie was really, really good, and I would give it 4 stars. I'm really excited to see if they improve the movie about the second book. I really hope they do. I feel like they probably will. And I cannot wait to see that. I also did a review on the Fifth Wave book. I will link that down below, so go check it out if you read the book. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below what you thought about the Fifth Wave movie. Let's continue the discussion down below.